I think
Isaiah,
it kind of did
we're
not
live.
confirm the
We're live.
edit access.
We're live. I'll check it again before it comes to your turn. A very good evening to every one of you for joining today, day 2. Learntor Career Open Day. And today, the highlight for us is going to be covering UX UI. We had a lot of questions even after the class on the data analytics in Power BI. Tosin is present in the call today. And we have today's facilitator, who is a professional UX UI. He's going to talk to you about it. And there's a reason that we have added UX UI to our cohort, because these are skills that are highly sought after. And honestly, I'm particularly excited. Cohort 4, we introduced UX UI design to cohort 4. And it was important that we do that because we've come to realize that the world is fast changing, and it's important that we align ourselves to the trends of today. Otherwise, we'll miss out on what's important. I like the Amazon founder, his quote, that where he talked about agility, talked about the fact that we need to evolve. Yesterday, there were several questions. Why is this relevant to my business? Why is this? I remember in cohort 3, particularly, don't worry, I'm going to send details. Tosi is here to answer a few questions. I'm going to send details out shortly. So in cohort 3, there's a lady particularly that reached out to me and said, Mercy, I'm in health and safety. I don't see how Agile will help me. And honestly, she was the only person that scored 100% in our PSM assessment. I'll tell you to Google it. I'll tell you to check on LinkedIn. You find out who she is. This experience for us is personal. It's like we're on a mission to make a difference, to change the trajectory, to change the norm, to be able to disrupt and open the opportunities to you and I for more Africans to be players within this sector. It's time to evolve. It's time to change. As you know, that the world is fast moving. All the companies that we knew before, the Michelin, the Dunlop, the Coca-Cola of yesterday, are no longer at the top of the lead in terms of #1 brands. The ones that are disruptive are tech companies like the Apple, like the Amazon, like the Uber, like the Airbnb, like tech startup in Nigeria. I mean, this week alone, I've seen a lot of tech startup raising millions of dollars. This is the next cash cow. Africa is to the world. #1, we have the population. #2, we have the expertise. But do they really understand how to navigate? We're going to keep having situation of bringing experts into Africa with solution mindset to want to change the trajectory. You are present, you know the skills, you know what it requires, and it's important for you to be a major player in the schemes of things when it comes to the African market. So I brought Tolu back. There was a lot of questions with regards to data analytics, the intermediate class that we are holding on the 26th of February. The video is ready. I'll share before the end of the class. I'm just waiting for the final lap of the video before we share it out. So I'll bring Tolu up. I'd like you guys to have a tete-a-tete with Tolu before we proceed today's class. I don't know if Tolu is here. Tolu, are you here?
Yes, it's Tosin. Tolu
I beg your
is
pardon.
VA.
Touche. Tolu has entered my Mendola. We just spent a long time together taking the business analysis class. My apologies. Tosin, please do step to the virtual lantern, like we call it as Toastmasters, so that they can interact with you and ask you questions with regards to data analytics. People can have heads up and how to plug in. Email will be shared in the next 1 hour I think my team is giving me thumbs up. Tosin, please, if you're available, I'm waiting for you to turn on your video so that people can interact with you. Are you ready?
Yes, I can try. I'm in a different location tonight, so I'm not sure how the video would look. No, it's not good. So let's just do audio.
Okay, that's
Yes.
fine. Okay, so if you have any question regarding data analytics, the intermediate class that is starting, do ask Tolu before. He's actually not in the office, so he's at a client and he still had to join. I told him to join so that you guys can have one-on-one. Then I'm going to bring up Isaiah Adeleke. He's a UX UI facilitator for Cohort 5, and you're going to interact with him. So Tolu, over to you. What has the first question? No, before we do that, I want people to tell me what was your highlight of yesterday's session. Just highlights. Who would like to tell us what you took away from Tolu's session? Because I mean, I've been hearing a lot of rave yesterday. Who would like to share your highlights from yesterday's session? Anybody?
You keep mentioning Tolu, please.
Tosin. Oh my God. Thank you, Tosin. Oh, sugar. Who would like to give highlight of Tosin's session yesterday?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. Who is speaking?
Moses.
Oh yes, Moses, the friend of Tosin.
Yes, I think for me, the catch was dashboard. That sounded so interesting to me because I want to be able to, on the dashboard, be able to see my business, be able to do all the analysis on the dashboard. So I think I'll be more interested in the dashboard. That for me was the catch for yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anybody else? I'll take 5 more people, then I'll call Tosin to the table, to the virtual floor. Okay? Any more? Any more persons? Your highlight from yesterday's Tosin's class. We have a large number. You guys were raving. It was fantastic. I like a female voice. Female voice would like to go. What was your key takeaway from yesterday? Key takeaway from yesterday's session? Anyone? Are we shy from speaking today? Can you still hear me? Tosin, please confirm you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Okay.
You're not talking to yourself, I can guarantee.
Unfortunately, I just got in yesterday. You missed yesterday's class, okay? Julius, we'll see to that. Okay, you're in a noisy background. I can see some chats. I need a female voice. I'm all about women empowerment or women getting into the tech space. Who would like to go? A female voice that was here yesterday.
Yeah. Yesterday's class was really impactful, like I said. And sincerely, I would personally love a situation where I can be part of the cohort. I don't want a fire brigade for myself because I am very obvious of the fact that the environment is tech savvy now. And if you are not tech compliant, you are just not in the system. So for me, it was very impactful and I look forward to joining the cohort 5. My name is Mariam. My name is Mariam. We spoke earlier today.
Yes, I know. I love your voice. I remember your voice. Even in my sleep, I'll remember it. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you too.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, so let me call on Tosin. Tosin, I didn't make a mistake this time around. I wouldn't dare. Okay. So let me call on Tosin to speak to you guys about some of the things that you'll be expecting for those that are very passionate about data. Data is the new oil. Data is a game changer. I love the journey that Tosin took Moses through yesterday. It was a phenomenal one. So Tosin, I know you're doing audio and that's okay. So would you like to go ahead and give highlights before I call on the UX UI trainer? Tosin.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me back on call tonight. The intention tonight is just a very, very simple one. So just walk you through in a nutshell what we will be discussing in class when we have one of these sessions, some of our sessions. So basically, depending on the journey you are going to take with us, either you are going for the intensive or for the cohort sessions, we would basically at least have an introduction to data, how data works, and then how you can grow with data. We'll also do some basic SQL courses because SQL is what you call structured query language. Structured query language allows you to pull information out of a database. It allows you to pull information out of a database. So we would consider structured query language. And in addition to that, if time permits, we would consider basic database management, how to connect to a database, how to run a query on a database, how to pull information out of a database, and all those kind of stuff. Furthermore, we will then go into analytics or business intelligence, running with Power BI. We will understand how Power BI works. We'll be able to connect to multiple data sources. When I say data sources, anything that has data, be it an Excel sheet, be it a web page, be it a PDF file, be it a text data type of data. When I say text data, either it is .txt or it is .csv. Yes, those kind of data will connect to almost anything. If time permits, we'll be able to connect to a full-blown database and connect and pull out information from there. And we'll be able to see the various ways in which we can build data. While I promise you it's going to be exciting, it's also very, very intensive, but it's also simple. Like I said, if you can describe something to somebody, you seem to be a good candidate for data and AI. It even helps if you are left-brained, but that's not a problem. Even if you're not left-brained, that means you're not used to calculation. Don't be afraid. We welcome everybody, all colors, all shapes, all shades, all sizes. Like I said yesterday, also, there are multiple careers in the data space. If you feel that this journey of going in hardcore tech is not for you, you can be okay to do well as an analyst. Everybody needs an analyst. Everybody needs to tell them what is there. I promise you, the simplest graphs throws a lot of people off. The simplest pie charts or charts throws a lot of people off. So they always still need somebody to analyze it for them. Let me tell you a simple story. There's a non-profit organization that we regularly had meetings on Sundays, and then because of COVID, we could not meet. So one of my responsibilities was to take attendance of our streamed events on Sundays and our webcast events. And I felt, okay, instead of me just presenting it to them on rows and columns, let's do some snazzy stuff and let me use Power BI. That was my undoing. Now my work became two. So I put the data into an Excel sheet and then I generate a nice dashboard showing the trends. We started out in March 2020 and I was doing this up till around September. Now, the double stress was that when I pull out the data from YouTube, from all our streaming platforms and put it into Excel, and I put it on a dashboard, then phase two was to go and pull it out of the dashboard and put it into PowerPoint. So, because the people whom, even my tech lead was a bit confused with the simple graph, and of course, my mantra is 30 seconds making sense. So definitely my graph made sense, my dashboard made sense in 30 seconds, but my boss did not understand. So I still had the extra work task of putting it in Power BI and then putting it into PowerPoint so that they can understand. By putting it into PowerPoint, I didn't need to explain to anybody. I just forward the mail and say, that's the report for the day. But again, that's what my customers understood. So why am I saying this? Do not feel that, okay, I didn't have a 2-1 and I did not have a first class. So is there any hope for you? I promise you there's a lot of hope for you. If you cannot run with the guys that are doing hardcore data science, don't be intimidated or doing stuff. You can still do bam, small by being a data analyst. So there is a lot of opportunity for you. Yes. So I'm not going to talk too much because it's not about me. It's about you. We need you to just come around and let's make a difference together. But again, for the next few minutes, so that I'm not encroaching on another person's time, if you have 1 or 2 questions, let's hear you out, and then let's be able to address your concerns, worries, or fears. Thank you.
That was nicely said, nicely done. If you're on live stream, check, there's a Zoom link there. You can join us because we're going to be going off live in just a few minutes. Does anybody have any question for Tosin? If you do not, I would like to bring on the UX UI. I've gotten a lot of, yes, please.
Sorry. No, when you finish, I want to ask a question.
On what? On the data or the...
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so no, that's fine. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I just want to ask, the data analytics, is it different from data analysis, the English? Or is there a difference between that data analytics and data analysis?
Okay, let me take you on a beautiful journey like Tosin did. Why do you ask the question first?
Okay, I'd always had it in mind to be a data analyst in addition to my project management knowledge. Okay. You understand? But you see, when I started here yesterday, it's been data analytics. I want to know if there's a difference between the analytics and the analysis.
No, there is none.
There is none. Okay,
no.
So what's this
One
USI?
is a title. No, so
okay.
This is the cohort. The cohort has several layers of program together because the goal for us is to produce a comb-shaped employee or a business owner that understand the business end to end. But we'll come to that in just a minute. But let me let Tosin answer you, but I'll take 2 more questions for Tosin before we go to the next session. Anybody has any question for Tosin?
Thank you.
No
Hello.
problem. Hi.
Hello.
Yes,
my name is Jessica.
Okay.
So I joined the meeting yesterday. Yesterday training was very interesting. I have 2 questions.
Okay.
So my first question is data analytics and business analytics. What is the difference? That's 1. And 2, he mentioned something. He mentioned another area. He mentioned database management yesterday. So I wasn't much aware of that. Database management is actually another field that one can actually, concentrate on. He was saying something that didn't have much of database and management people in Nigeria. So I'm actually interested in that. If I'm to become a database management, what area am I going to concentrate on? Is it going to be data analysis? What am I supposed to study for me to become a database manager?
Okay, thank you for that question. So that's 2. I want to take all the questions in one go. So Tosin can respond and we can move on from data and go to UX UI. I hope you're all excited tonight for the UX UI session. Okay, 1 more or 2. Anybody else have any question for Tosin before he jumps off?
Yes.
Anybody?
Good evening.
I'm loving the voices I'm listening to, by the way. My women, I love you guys. I want to see more women in this space. Yes, go on.
My name is Kemine Kane.
Okay.
Yes, yesterday's class, I missed part of the class because of my, let me say, battery, sorry. So I wanted to ask, because ending of last year, I joined data science internship. So I wanted to know what is the difference between data analyst and a data scientist?
Okay, same question. Tosin, I hope you've taken all the questions so you can answer them in one go.
Yes.
Okay, any more questions, please?
Let's just do 1 more.
1 more, then that's it for the day.
Yes, Moses, I would like to just get some clarification on this intermediate data intermediate class.
Okay.
I would like to know when it is starting. Tosin was trying to give an highlight of some of the content of the course. My little worry is for those of us who are not tech savvy, like we have little or no background on it. What the chances that we can be able to catch up Because I think if I understand yesterday, you were saying it's a 10 days. Yeah. So I want to know, because I would want something that I can really start from the scratch and get to know it and gradually grow in it. So let me get response to this little worry that I have about the intermediate data class.
Awesome. Thank you for that beautiful question. I'm sure you have asked the question that everybody would have wanted to know as well. I'm going to add to that after Tosi has responded to you. Okay, Tosi, over to you, please.
All right, thank you very much. So, Madam Mariam, you are asking for the difference between data analysis and data analytics. Deliberate emphasis on the ending. Analysis is the process or act. Analysis is the process or act or the task of analyzing data, checking it. It can be a simple analysis, it can be a complex analysis, it can be anything. Well, it is what you are doing at that point in time. But data analytics is the practice. It's the practice of analyzing data. And when you have a practice, you have methods, you have tools, you have technologies, you have maturity, you have all sorts of things. So analysis can be a simple one that you do in the laboratory, can be a simple one that you put in Excel. That's analysis. You're analyzing the data. When I look at the data, it can be basic machine learning that they are playing with. But analytics is the industry, it's the practice of taking data and analyzing it. And of course, data can come in any format. It can be your regular format in Excel sheet. It can be your format in a database, rows and columns. It can be your database in a no SQL, not only SQL, no SQL database that is big data, Facebook data, tweets, Instagram kind of data. So the practice of analyzing data, the tools, the technology, the maturity, the assessments, and everything all together is data analytics, while the task act is analysis. Difference between data analysis and business analysis. Well, it's self-explanatory. Data analytics or analysis is you focusing on data, while business analysts are the people who get business requirements and then they give it to the technology guys, or especially the dev guys or software developers. They translate business requirements into technology requirements. So the customer wants to pay money. When you tell a customer wants to pay money, that does not really make sense to a programmer. You are going to need to put it in a context that the programmer will understand, in terms of saying, we need an application that allows customers to pay money. And what kind of money are they paying? Are they paying for bills? Are they paying for school fees? What exactly are they paying for? So data and business analysis is the act of doing requirements gathering and then pitching it and all that activity, and pitching it and managing the delivery of that product back to the business owner. So at the end of the day, when you hear the business owner says, I want people to pay money, you take that and go and interpret it in any way that it makes sense to the developers and the tech team. Excuse me. And at the end of the day, you come back to the business owner to say, here is the platform that we have designed or developed for you to be able to allow people to pay money. Data analysis, like I explained earlier on, is the practice of analytics, is the practice of analyzing data. There was a third question. Unfortunately, I didn't write that. Can you just remind me of that question, please?
The last question was, as no experience to tech, I'd actually like to answer that once you responded. Can I catch up?
There's another question on database management.
Database. Okay, thank you very much. Yes. So again, see, we need to, if you are still saying, I don't have tech experience and you're afraid, let me, as a Christian brother, If they are Muslims, they'll bring your friend. As a Nigerian brother, or again, it's an international community. But when you say, let me give you some frank talk. Now, this is not harsh. This is not hard. Frank talk means that you need to get to a stage in life today, in 2022, and make it your 2022 resolution. Anytime they mention tech or technology, you'll be excited. You will not be afraid again. And why do I say so? A few years ago, it was okay to hear some people are literate, some people are not literate. That was partially okay. But now, if you are not literate, you cannot do anything. So you must be able to speak. At least in Nigeria, you must be able to speak English. In some countries, even if you cannot speak English, you can speak French, you are fine. Some countries is German, in some countries is Arabic. But in the world of today, you cannot speak English. So the same thing,
please don't
if you
unmute
are
again,
not
please.
comfortable,
Carry on.
if you are not comfortable on the computer, then you're not in a good place. It's a major problem for you. So please, you have not committed any sin. God is not angry with you and you're not facing judgment. But I will appeal to you to determine that this time in 2023, when they mention tech, it's a second nature to you, because there's nothing, if you really want to go to that level that we are aspiring all of us to get to, you want to be an MD. Most offices now, you want to be a director, you want to be a senior manager. In the past, everybody will have a secretary. Our daddy's office, daddy will have secretary, you have clerk. They will just dictate the letter, they will type it. Yeah, it still happens in some institutions, but the next generation institution, people don't even have PAs anymore. You are your PA, you resume, they give you a laptop. Welcome to the office. They now make it easier for you. They give you a laptop and they give you a headset. No telephone. Your headset is your telephone. So who is going to be composing your meals? Who is going to be doing all that for you? You want to give a presentation, who is going to write it? I know many Nigerians, a lot of people have written your projects for you. Congratulations. Now, welcome to the world where you are doing it yourself. Not because you are proud, you are not delegating. I know you've taken all sorts of courses on delegation and everything. No, but the same way nobody recharges your phone or sends a WhatsApp message for you, that is the same way nobody should send an email for you. That's the same way nobody should check something online for you. That's the same way nobody should do anything online for you. Let it be an abomination. I'm sorry to use that strong word, but let it be an abomination that somebody is going to do something for you again. Anytime they mention tech, let it not be something that you'll be afraid of. Let it be something that you'll be excited. It should be second nature. It should be second nature for you. Enough said on that. And that is not to abuse anybody, please. That's not to castigate anybody, please. So if you feel offended, it's not my intention to make you feel small or rubbish. You forgive me. But it's just where you want to be. You really want to be in that place where you're in control, especially when it comes to tech. And you begin to see how opportunities will begin to open up for you. So back to the matter. You don't really need to have 100% tech knowledge. You can learn as we go, but at least you should be proficient on the computer. When I say tech knowledge is like you are a techie, no, but at least proficient on the computer. You already know when we say click, double click, right click, drag, all those simple things are not a problem for you. So you need to be able to do those basic stuff. So at least 150 level proficiency on a computer. It's computer proficiency that we need here, not technology experience. As long as you are computer proficient, you are fine and you are good to go. Database administration, like I said yesterday, if you go back, you listen to that session, is whereby in every system in this world, there is a database behind it. Every computerized system, unless they are putting their data on Excel sheets, every computerized or digitalized platform in this world has a database. Even the ones I know and the ones I don't know, the ones I've seen and the ones I have not seen, and the ones to come, they all will have a database of some sort. Now, if you work in a company, your HR data sits in a database. If you are a customer in a bank, whether you work with Paga, whether you work with Kuda, whether you work with Zenith, whether you work with First Bank, whether you work with UBA, all your account number. The bank does not know Mr. Tosin Shobukola or Milady Messi Buffett. No, the bank doesn't know that. The bank knows 001-022-4494. That 10 digits is what the bank knows. Is that number that is linked to a name. When we check the name that account is linked to, we now realize that, oh, suddenly that's you. And then that name is linked to a passport photograph. Then they know, okay, that's how it looks like. And then that passport photograph is linked to a mandate signature. but the bank does not know anybody. It's the teller that knows you. It's not the bank. The bank only knows your account number. All that, and your money is not kept in the bank. That's why you can go to any branch and collect it. So your money is a row in a database. All that information I transferred, I withdrew, they paid me, I upgraded, I bought, I sold. All those transactions are database activities. Even though you are doing it on an application, you are clicking, you are paying, you are doing all these things, you are buying, you are selling, you are updating, you are sending me, all those activities are going into a database of some sort. And some people need to manage that database so that when you launch your application, it will come fast. Some people need to launch that manage that database so that it will never go down. And on the day it goes down, they are meant to make sure that they are taking backups, because you don't want to get to the bank on the 22nd when they paid your 300,000 naira salary, and then they had a database issue. And then when they restored it, it was your previous balance of 25K that is showing, and you cannot find any record of your 300K. You will not find it funny. And that can be a bad problem, ripple effect. So some people need to make sure that data must never get lost. They are making sure that data is fast. They are making sure data is simple to use. They are making sure data is backed up. They are making sure data is secure. They are making sure that data is readily available for use. So that is what database administration and management does. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I think I've been able to answer all your questions. Lady MG, you can take over.
Thank you so much, Tosin. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for making out the time to be here. I hope all our questions have been asked. In a nutshell, what he has said, you do not need any technical know-how for you to be in tech. What a lot of organizations are even pushing now is no code, low code. So it means back in the days where you have to be coding and writing codes is all gone. Literally no code, zero code, and low code. So thank you, Ayok Peju, for your appreciation of Tosin. Thank you. So, and let me just elevate it. Our cohort 3, yes. We had a 65-year-old that participated in our program. So age is not even a factor. Your technical background is not a factor. We have had people that didn't even know how to use computer, and today they are very savvy with what they have learned, because the way we teach at Learntor, we hold your hands literally and guide you. We do not leave you. We're very hands-on. One of our learners said to me, he said, it's only in Learntor you pay and they push you to learn. Thank you for saying you're being encouraged. We look forward to seeing you either for the cohorts or for the accelerated session. The question one of you guys asked is, when is the accelerated class starting? Is a Saturday only Saturday, 3 hours every day. Every Saturday we'll give you task and you'll be able to participate in that particular program. So Saturday, the form is out before the end of this class. You'll get an email. Write this today, because over 80% of you guys were interested in the accelerated learning. You will still have Mr. Tosin take you in the cohort, but the accelerated learning is an elevated introduction from the cohort, and you can still be part of it. So thank you so much for today's session. Tosin, you are highly appreciated. If you're on live on any of our channel, please click on the Zoom link and join Zoom, because we're going off live. But before I go off live, I think it will be unfair not to bring our star of the today. Please, let's give an emoji clap in Zoom to Mr. Tosin. I had to drag him out of his meeting, and I do not take things like this for granted. It's value for what we do here. Thank you so much. Divapreneur, appreciate that. Thank you. Uncle Fred, no, Professional Scrum Master Fred, I appreciate you. Divine David, thank you. Only 4 of you would appreciate Tosin. Okay, I can see all the claps coming in. Thank you. I'd like to call on Isaiah. Isaiah, do you want to turn your video on so I can add you to the pin? Today it's all about UX UI. It's going to take you on a journey that you wish you knew before now. And for us, it's actually a pain point. Isaiah, are you turning your video on?
Oh, sorry, I can't do that currently where I am.
Okay, no problem. So let me remove you from pin. So it took cohort 4, and it's been a lot of learning and improvement. We didn't have UX UI for cohort 1, 2, 3, but we had it in cohort 4. It's been elevated for cohort 4. At the end of the cohort 4, you should be able to create, when they ask you about business analysis, you're there inscribing. You should be able to understand where a UX UI comes in from. And all of this is tied into design thinking, design, agile to Scrum, understanding the holistic of what make many tech companies so successful. So if you're excited, let me hear some whoop whoop from over 60 of you guys that are on call. Oh, thank you, Madam Miriam, for your kind words. Thank you so much. Okay, so let me hear some noise. Let me feel like I'm not talking to myself. I want to hear some noise. Let's welcome Isaiah to the fore so I can yield. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. Thank you. And we're ready. And let's go. Isaiah, do you want to introduce yourself? Let everybody get to know who you are. All right.
Yeah, yes. All right, sure. So thank you very much, everyone. I mean, I appreciate the welcome.